Hey guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, I wanted to talk about Conan Exiles once again. I have, since launching the community server, had a bunch of questions around what it is, how would it appeal to me, stuff like that. So I thought I would try to briefly cover what I can, because honestly, it is a massive game, and hopefully answer some of those questions. To give you some background, I have been playing Conan Exiles since it was in beta. I love this game, although it wasn't always the game it is today. So if you haven't played it in years, or tried it at launch and decided to leave, you might want to stick around. A ton has changed. So let's just get into it. So to start, Conan Exiles is a hardcore survival game. You are not led around by the NPCs or told what to do when at any stage. However, there is a sort of mini-quest system, or whatever you want to call it, in the game called the Journey. If you find yourself lost in the game, you can find suggestions on things to do and when in here that will award you when complete with experience. However, really, it's simply a sandbox. The game itself is simply about surviving, and you live in an unforgiving place within the Conan universe, so it won't be so easy to do sometimes. Now, the cool thing about Conan Exiles that I feel separates it from most open-world sandbox survival games is that it has a very rich story and amazing lore attached. This is made clear to you right away with the character creation, then with the opening cutscene, and continues all through the game with hundreds of lore stones, book entries, and stuff like that you can find, and of course with the dungeons that you complete. The basics of the story without spoilers is this. You are convicted as a criminal. Guilty or not is up to you, as that aspect falls into the RP aspect of the game. But regardless, you are convicted, and as a punishment you are taken to the Exiled Lands and crucified to die. The Exiled Lands in Conan lore is a large piece of land that is magically sealed. You can't leave. A very old forgotten place, filled with horrible creatures, undead, dangerous magic, ruins, just an all-around horrible place, where criminals and undesirables are taken from the regular society and dumped. Ordinary people, traders, thieves, people who don't wish to be found, can come and go from the Exiled Lands passing through this barrier without issue. What keeps you here, along with the other criminals and people sentenced to die here, is the bracelet you are wearing. This bracelet is cursed. If you remove it, you die. If you pass through the barrier, you die. The only escape, if of course you wish to, is to remove it using very old magic, something more powerful than the curse that keeps it tied to your life. So the game opens with you crucified on a cross, and Conan himself stumbles across you and cuts you down. You may think this is him being kind, but truly, you might have been better off dying there. Because once you're free, you are on your own, naked in a desert with nothing. And you must survive in this unforgiving place filled with all sorts of ways to die. And that's the game. Moving forward, everything you do will be about becoming stronger, surviving, and eventually thriving, and mastering this harsh place. So now that we understand the lore and the premise of the game, let's have a look at some of the systems. First, the combat. The combat in Conan Exiles is very fast-paced, and it isn't a silly tab-target combat system. It's a system that is very action-oriented, sort of a Souls-type fighting. The unique thing here is that you have no skills. You simply dodge, block, and attack, heavy and light attacks. Where the cool bits come in, as far as special abilities, are with your abilities that you gain by placing attributes in various ways, or the different perks on your weapons, and the gear that you use. The gear in Conan Exiles is simply amazing. The choices are virtually endless, and what choices you make are very important for various situations. There is gear for hot places, where you will die if you're not wearing it. Gear for cold places, where you will freeze to death without wearing it. There are spots where it is so dark that you can't see unless you're using certain gear that allows you night vision. Even places filled with toxic gases that if you're not prepared, you will again die. Gear can also be worn to make you a more effective miner, or can give you the ability to carry more weight, better with a bow, or an axe or daggers. And on top of that, there are hundreds of gear combinations that you can wear simply for looks as well. Now, the gear system in Conan is quite simple, which you would find surprising considering the huge amount of it that there is. It works basically like this. You start out with basic versions of most gear. Then there are some that you will need to unlock through dungeons, as well as exploring and finding lore stones that would teach it. This also applies to weapons. Then, as you level, you will unlock abilities to craft more expensive, much better versions of these same armors. These will provide you with much larger benefits as you would expect. Now, it isn't all crafted. Like with any game, there are also legendary weapons and armor located throughout the world in locked chests, dropped by certain bosses that will offer unique abilities, and as I mentioned earlier, the ability to breathe underwater, see at night, the list goes on and on. This brings me to the crafting system in general. Conan Exiles has one of the richest, deepest crafting systems I've ever experienced in any survival game, with literally thousands of things to discover. By placing different things like wood and bark in a dryer, to various things in campfires, everything you do will produce some other cool byproduct that you will need and use. Then on top of that, you have a building system that is so in-depth and cool that no other survival game I have touched can match, not even Valheim or Ark. You can build in the style you please, decorate it how you would like using statues and all sorts of things. They even have a working chess set, for God's sakes. The possibilities for building and decorating a base to your personal desire is actually endless. You can even hang your weapons on the wall as decoration if you don't wish to use them. It isn't all about building and crafting though. Conan Exiles offers a great sort of taming system, or systems also. There basically are two types of these taming systems you're free to use. You can focus on one or delve into them all. First, you have the pet system. This allows you to go around the world and capture baby animals. Rhinos, sabers, dogs, cats, gorillas, horses, it's endless. Then, of course, raise them. And then once raised, they will fight at your side, carry your stone or iron, or whatever while farming. Be your loyal mount, again, the possibilities are endless. And the other system, the Thrall system. This is quite different. Here you will explore the world capturing humans, quite against their will, and taking them to your wheel of pain, where you will break them of their free will and make them, let's say for YouTube purposes, your friend. Once this is done, they will be invaluable. There are various types of Thralls that you can collect. Combat Thralls who you can gear, and they will fight by your side, guard your base, be a companion. Or there are Crafter Thralls. These are a bit different. They can be placed within your various workstations, and depending on the tier and the name of the Thrall, they will make crafting faster, provide you with hidden recipes, make things higher quality. The uses are again endless. And having these will become very important because throughout the game you will encounter powerful bosses, dungeons, and of course the purges. The purge is a very fun aspect of Conan Exiles. What will happen during this is waves and waves and waves of powerful enemies from any faction in the game will descend upon your base, and they do have the ability to destroy it and wipe your progress. So you will want to have Thralls to help you protect it. Because the rule of life also applies to Conan Exiles. If you can't protect something you have, was it ever really yours? Recently also, they've added the sorcery stuff to the game, which takes it to a whole nother level. With unique events, awesome abilities, sacrificing, it's just so cool. I won't go too deep into it to avoid spoilers, but it's just amazing and you have to experience it to really get what I mean. So to close this out, I just want to say that Conan Exiles was released in 2018, which will make you assume it's dated, but that's where you would be wrong. They've had a steady pipe of updates, so it's always fun and fresh. And one of the biggest issues it had on release was that it was such a massive game, with such an amazing building system, with the graphics it had. Very few systems could run it reliably. Well, today, systems can handle it, so it looks just amazing, offering probably the richest aesthetic in this genre, to the biomes, to the building pieces, to every aspect of the game. So if any of this sounds like maybe it is something you're looking for, feel free to hop on the community private server. I will be hosting it for the entirety of Season 2, which just started, and probably beyond. So on top of just playing and experience it, you will also get the Battle Pass rewards. You are not required to buy anything to receive some of these. There are of course some items locked behind the Season Pass bonus thing, but it is not in any way needed. GPORTAL is providing me with the server free of charge, and it is an upgraded server, and located in a great central US location, so it always offers a great ping. And also, I and some of my friends will always be on to moderate. So all of the issues surrounding Funcom and the slow support, those issues do not exist on this server, as we are the hosts and will be addressing issues immediately. The server information is of course in the description, and I do hope to see you in the Exiled Lands. Thanks for watching, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. And as always, I will see you in the next one.